Every time you are rejected from something good, you are redirected to something better. The harder your past was, the more beautiful your future will be. The people who say you can't and you won't are usually the ones scared that you will. Remember, some of the best times of your life haven't even happened yet. When you're driving through the darkness, you can only see as far as the headlights shine, but you can make the whole trip that way. The past shows what you've done. The future will show what you've learned. It's not hard, it's just new. Life is like a piano. White keys represent happiness, and black keys show sadness. But as you go through life's journey, remember that the black keys also create music. Don't compare yourself to others. There is no comparison between the moon and the sun. They shine when it is their time. Sometimes, when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually, you've been planted. Things work out when you least expect them. Life has a funny way of surprising us when we're not looking for it. If you weren't capable, the opportunity would have never come your way. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. When you get up in the morning, remember what you promised yourself at night. Stop thinking you're doing it all wrong. Your path doesn't look like anybody else's because it can't. It shouldn't, and it won't. Once you realize your value, you will be greatly surprised at what you used to settle for. Just because things could have been different doesn't mean they would have been better. Comparison is the thief of joy. Focus on your path, not someone else's. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. Most of the stuff you worry about never happens. You attract what you are. If you want to attract better, become better. Don't regret the past, because at that moment, you did your best. Don't leave someone to teach them a lesson. Leave because you learned yours. Our anxiety does not come from thinking about the future, but from wanting to control it. Whether it's a machine, a house, or a relationship, maintenance is always cheaper than repairing. Every person in your life is a teacher. Some bring lessons. Others teach you what to avoid. You are always one decision away from a totally different life. Life is like an elevator. On your way up, sometimes you have to stop and let some people off. Never say maybe if you want to say no. The ego is not a bad thing, and sometimes we need it in order to achieve our aims and feel vitality. However, the ego is just a tool. We shouldn't let it control us. It is not what you say out of your mouth that determines your life. It's what you whisper to yourself that has the most power. If you went back in time and fixed your past mistakes, you would erase yourself. Recognizing that you are not where you want to be is a starting point to begin changing your life. If people treat you like an option, leave them like a choice. Don't look back, you are not going that way. The hardest part is at the beginning of the journey. The rocket loses 90% of its fuel during takeoff. Today is the oldest you've ever been in your life and the youngest you'll ever be again. Your future self is watching you through your memories. Someday, when things are okay, you'll look back and feel proud that you didn't give up. If it makes you nervous, you're doing it right. The biggest lie you've told yourself is that you're not ready yet. More important than the ability to pick the right one is the strength to walk away from the wrong one. If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from making bad decisions. Be careful who you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Life's challenges are not there to paralyze you, but to help you discover who you are. Stop telling people everything. Most people don't care, and some secretly want you to fail. Hard times may have held you down, but they will not last forever. When all is said and done, you will be increased. The fear you don't confront becomes your limit. The family you create is more important than the family you come from. Close some doors today, not because of pride, incapacity, or arrogance, but simply because they lead you nowhere. If you don't separate yourself from your distractions will separate you from your goals. Stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. The bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. Lower your expectations. Having high expectations of yourself and of others is a recipe for chronic dissatisfaction in life. Sometimes, you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Don't wait to reach your goal to be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself every step you take. If you don't let go of the wrong people, you'll never meet the right people. Not everything in this world should be your problem. Some things are simply none of your business. Focus on the issues that affect you directly. You will be much happier that way. Winners have lost more times than the losers have tried. You don't need more time, you need less distractions. Life becomes easier when you learn to accept the apology you never got. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. There are two ways to do things right and wrong. If you need more than one hand to count your best friends, you're not a great best friend. The single most powerful element of youth is that you don't have the life experiences to know what can't be done. You will look back at your life with much more regret for the things that you didn't do than for the things that you did. Change is never painful. Only resistance to change is painful. Fear is just excitement in need of an attitude adjustment. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. There's no greater waste of time than justifying your actions to people who have a life you don't want. People only saw the decisions you made, not the choices you had. Some things had to end in order for better things to begin. You will remain the same until the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of change. Memories are always special. Sometimes we laugh by remembering the days we cried. And sometimes we cry by remembering the days we laughed. That's life. Why is happiness so elusive? Because you look for it in the future instead of in the present. You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. The unhappiest people in this world are those who care the most about what other people think. A failure is not always a mistake. It may simply be the best one can do under the circumstances. The real mistake is to stop trying. Just because you are going through hell right now doesn't mean you will never smile again. Pain is purely temporary. Don't overshare, privacy is power. A ball doesn't bounce until it hits the bottom. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. Trust wisely, and not blindly. People want you to succeed, but not more than themselves. Rule your life with your mind, not with your feelings. Every bad decision we have made in life had more emotion in it than mind. You'll never be sorry for telling someone you love them. Do it before it's too late. Your heart will tell you where to go. Your head will guide you there safely. Use one without the other, and you'll get lost. Just because you hate this chapter doesn't mean you'll hate the book. Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forwards. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. If people took back the pain they caused you, you'd lose the strength you gained. Most people stay in the same place for a reason. The things they hold dear are the anchors that hold them in place. You can't always have a good day, but you can always face a bad day with a good attitude. Clocks show time, and time shows people. In the end, everything will be okay. If it's not okay, it's not yet the end. There is only one thing more painful than learning from experience, and that is not learning from experience. Adversity introduces a man to himself. That it will never come again is what makes life so sweet. Your hardest times often lead to the greatest moments of your life. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. To choose one's own way. If you can't beat fear, just do it scared. Being defeated is often a temporary condition. Giving up is what makes it permanent. The pain you've been feeling can't compare to the joy that is coming. Be so focused on watering your own grass that you don't have time to check if someone else's is greener. The more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you. The version of you that you are scared to become is the one who's going to save you. It gets easier every day. But you have to do it every day. That's the hardest part. The things we want to forget are so hard to because we need to remember them. You'll be alone in the most difficult times of your life. These times will make you wise, mature, and fearless. Respect yourself, because people can see if you don't. You make the best decisions when in pain, because fear of experiencing the same pain again is the strongest motivator. See people for who they are, not who you need them to be. Never jump to conclusions, be discerning, and let people show you their true colors. The people with the worst past can create the best future. Never overlook contempt. When someone views you with contempt and talks to you like you're beneath them, they will likely do you harm. Whether relationally, socially, or physically, remove that person from your life. If you punish the truth, expect to be lied to. Don't depend too much on anyone in this world, because even your own shadow leaves you when you are in darkness. Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to get into, but hard to get out of. You spend your first 20 years worrying about what people think about you. You spend your next 20 years swearing that you don't care what people think about you. There will always be someone who doesn't see your worth. Don't let it be you. We have 4 problems: overthink, overtrust, overshare, and overlove. Sometimes, the things that break your heart end up fixing your vision. Your past was never a mistake if you learned from it. Once you feel you are avoided by someone, never disturb them again. You have 3 choices in life. You can watch things happen, make things happen, or wonder what the hell happened. You learn nothing from life if you think you're right all the time. Growth is uncomfortable because you've never been here before. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. If you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. Worrying only means you suffer twice. Don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it. Be the person you needed when you were younger. Prosperity is not without many fears and disasters. And adversity is not without comforts and hopes. It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. If you dare nothing, then when the day is over, nothing is all you will have gained. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. The trick is to enjoy life. Don't wish away your days waiting for better ones ahead. Every luxury must be paid for. And everything is a luxury. Starting with being in this world. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. You may delay, but time will not. Now is no time to think of what you do not have. Think of what you can do with what there is. Within our dreams and aspirations, we find opportunities. Expect little from people. Expect a lot from yourself. That's the secret of a happy life. The road to success is dotted with many tempting parking places. What makes you unique is what makes you attractive. It is important that we forgive ourselves for making mistakes. We need to learn from our errors and move on. Absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was ending, he turned into a butterfly. It's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. We build too many walls and not enough bridges. Often, any decision, even the wrong decision, is better than no decision. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. To succeed, jump as quickly at opportunities as you do at conclusions. Resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up. True wisdom requires both thinking with our head and understanding with our heart. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, then suddenly, you are doing the impossible. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Don't base your decisions on the advice of those who don't have to deal with the results. The starting point of all achievement is desire. If something is wrong, fix it now, but train yourself not to worry. Worry fixes nothing. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them. Just find a new way to stand. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. Climb the mountain to see the world, not so that the world can see you. We generate fears while we sit, we overcome them by action. Act as if it were impossible to fail. If you don't stand up for something, you can fall for anything. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take, the relationships we were too afraid to have, and the decisions we waited too long to make. Sorrow looks back. Worry looks around. Faith looks up. Failure is a condiment that gives success its flavor. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. If you can do what you do best and be happy, you'll be further along in life than most people. There is only one way to avoid criticism: do nothing. Be nothing. Say nothing. The secret to change is not on fighting the old, but on building the new. If you spend too much time thinking about one thing, you'll never get it done. If everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough. Every failure is a lesson. If you are not willing to fail, You are not ready to succeed. If you only do what you can do, you'll never be more than you are now. A sword can only be formed once it goes into the fire. The day you plant the seeds is not the same day you eat the fruit. Pain tells you that you have been injured, but more importantly, it tells you that you are not dead yet. Be a person who was born in the struggle, not someone who dies in it. You are likely to fall when you stop paddling your bicycle. Stay calm. You've been through this before. You'll get through it again. If you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone. When you find the purpose in your life, every second seems much more meaningful. When a defining moment comes along, you can do one of two things: define the moment or let the moment define you. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. Character consists of what you do on the third and fourth tries. You may be the only person left who believes in you, but it's enough. Stand up to your obstacles and do something about them. You will find that they haven't half the strength you think they have. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everybody would be doing it. The hard is what makes it great. If you only walk on sunny days, you'll never reach your destination. By 3 lessons we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection. Which is noblest? Second, by imitation. Which is the easiest? And third, by experience. Which is the bitterest? People inspire you or they drain you. Pick them wisely. Fear is temporary. Regret is forever. One day, the people that don't even believe in you will tell everyone how they met you. Allow yourself to be a beginner. No one starts off being excellent. Some people are investments, and some people are bills. Know the difference. Excuses make today easier, but tomorrow harder. Discipline makes today hard, but tomorrow easier. Your struggle is part of your story. Sometimes, being alone is the best medicine to your soul. Without rain, nothing grows. Learn to embrace the storm of your life. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. Life has many different chapters for us. One bad chapter doesn't mean it's the end of the book. You only pass through this life once. You don't come back for an encore. 2 things define you: your patience when you have nothing and your attitude when you have everything. Before you act, decide. Before you decide, think. Before you think, focus. One day, you will thank yourself for not giving up. The strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who fight battles we know nothing about. Your failure does not define you. Your persistence does. Have enough courage to start and enough heart to finish. The best way to predict your future is to create it. The answer is always no until you ask. Don't spend time beating on a wall hoping to transform it into a door. Every adversity, every failure, and every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Forgive your old self, you change. Sometimes, you face difficulties not because you have done something wrong, but because you have done something right. If you look at the people in your circle and don't get inspired, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. Never trust anybody. Trust is earned, not given from the start. Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. You cannot change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails to reach your destination. You're never too old to cut people out of your life. Life gives you lots of chances to screw up, which means you have just as many chances to get it right. People treating you poorly is a reflection on them, not you. You'll have bad times, but it'll always wake you up to the good stuff you weren't paying attention to. Once a problem is solved, its simplicity is amazing. Every second you spend comparing your life to someone else's is a second spent wasting yours. You don't like everybody, so don't worry about everybody liking you. Sometimes, you can make all the right choices and then have to sit there and watch them all crumble around you. You just have to pick up the pieces and keep moving. You stop explaining yourself when you realize people only understand from their level of perception. Never take for granted the time you spend with the people you keep. It could be over any day. Don't focus on perfection or control. You are not in control of anything. And there is no such thing as perfection. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. No matter how good a person you are, you will always be bad in someone's story. If you define the problem correctly, you almost have the solution. Don't take criticism from anyone you would not take advice from. Say no more than you wish to have said. Do no less than what you wish you had done. Don't do anything you feel you'd have to lie about later. Whatever is causing you worry or pain right now won't cause you worry or pain forever. Things change with time, and it will pass. Don't be afraid to start over again, this time. You are not starting from scratch, you are starting from experience. When you get a different vantage point, it changes your perspective. It allows us to see things that maybe we should have seen a long time ago. In this life, you don't have to prove anything to anyone but yourself. Wanting something is not enough. You must hunger for it. Your motivation must be absolutely compelling in order to overcome the obstacles that will invariably come your way. Life is an experiment in which you may fail or succeed. Explore more. Expect less. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, You could miss it. You'll never be able to please everyone. So don't make your life revolve around being accepted by everyone. Never fall in love with the same person twice. Because the second time you fall in love with the memories, not the person. Be selfish with your time. A lot of people don't deserve it. Never take anything personally. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. If it can be fixed, why are you complaining? If it can't be fixed, why are you complaining? Everything outside of this moment is just imagination. There's no point in being grown up if you can't act a little childish sometimes. At first, you choose a partner based on appearance and enjoy it until you realize that your children will be raised not based on appearance, but based on values. The average of 5 is real. If you really want to know someone, look at the 5 people they talk to the most and spend the most time with. Embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you aren't willing to look like the foolish beginner, you'll never be the graceful master. No one has the answer. You're going to spend a lot of time figuring things out. A lesson never ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. Think before you act. You can take a second to do something you haven't properly considered that isn't a true reflection of your character. And it can undo a lifetime of kindness and generosity. Regretting won't change your past. And it will end your future if you continue to do that. Sometimes, you just have to let stupid people be stupid. You must let the pain visit. You must allow it to teach you. You must not allow it to overstay. Your life becomes so peaceful when your anger for the people who hurt you turns into sympathy for them. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. There is meaning in every journey that is unknown to the traveler. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Action may not always bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. How much you can learn when you fail determines how far you will go in achieving your goals. The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone. But the things you do for others remain as your legacy. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. Adversity is like a strong wind. It tears away from us all but the things that cannot be torn, so that we see ourselves as we really are. The past is in your head, the future is in your hands. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. You've survived 100% of your bad days. If you wouldn't take advice from them, why would you take criticism? You won't know what is right for you until you experience enough wrong. The highest reward for a person's toil is not what they get for it, but what they become by it. The bigger the ambition, the slower you need to go. Better to admit you walked through the wrong door than spend your life in the wrong room. Some people were not put on your path to evolve. They were put there to remind you what it looks like if you don't. If you focus too much on the bigger picture, you often forget that a forest is made of individual trees. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. The chains that hold you back are never put there by someone else. You already know what you need to do, you're just pretending you don't. But once you stop, things will fall into place faster than you think. Be proud of your scars. Heroes do have them. You get what you focus on, so focus on what you want. You can't cross the ocean until you lose sight of the shore. When you reach doubt, that's when you start to make real progress. Everyone wants to skip struggle, not knowing that's where character is built. If you look for the light, you will often find it. But if you look for the dark, it is all you will ever see. Trees don't hang around with the grass, even though they are started from the same place. Failure is luck whose meaning you have yet to understand. Your value is not determined by someone else's inability to see your worth. The greatest damage for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. When one door of happiness closes, another opens, but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one that has been opened for us. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Everything is going to be all right. Maybe not today, but eventually. Whenever you find yourself doubting how far you can go, just remember how far you have come. Remember everything you have faced, all the battles you have won, and all the fears you have overcome. Trust yourself. You've survived a lot, and you'll survive whatever is coming. Never give up. You don't know how close you may already be. Don't be scared because you don't have all the answers right away. You will learn through your experiences and find your own way to happiness. Given the choice between being right and being kind, choose kind. Speak your mind, even if your voice shakes. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Don't get bogged down in regrets. No one is perfect. Don't chase happiness, just stay positive, and you will experience joy. Honesty without kindness is brutality. Kindness without honesty is manipulation. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. You train people how to treat you, unconsciously or not. Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. Things are only impossible until they are not. Just because you got away with a bad decision doesn't make it a good decision. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. We live longer when we are too busy living. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Every time you lie, you are creating problems that you will have to deal with in the future. A denied expectation hurts more than a denied hope, while a fulfilled hope makes us happier than a fulfilled expectation. The point of the argument is not to defeat each other, but to understand each other. Never compare your life with others. They may seem better than you, but they have some problems which are never heard by you. The more people let you down, the easier you'll get back up and realize that life doesn't stop for anyone. Not everyone will make it to your future. Some people are passing through to teach you life lessons. Betrayal never comes from your enemies. Owning your truth can be hard, but not nearly as hard as spending your life running away from it. The walls you build to keep things out are also keeping things in. There are times when you see someone for the last time and don't even realize it. Watch out. You'll never know the true value of the moment until it becomes a memory. In order to love who you are, you cannot hate the experiences that shaped you. Being lonely and being alone are different things. Overthinking ruins you. It ruins the situation, twists things around, makes you worry about futile questions, and makes everything much worse than it actually is. Just trust your instincts. Gut feelings can sometimes save you from big troubles. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan, and what they have planned for you. Quietly forgiving people in silence and never speaking to them again is a form of self-care. Stop being so available to people who are only there for you when it's convenient for them. There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on. One day, you'll laugh at how much you let this matter. Focus on you. People come and go. Healing doesn't mean the damage never existed. It means the damage no longer controls your life. If you can find paths without any obstacles, it probably leads nowhere. If you find someone smarter than you, work with them. Do not compete. Choosing comfort over discomfort does not lead to a comfortable life. It's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. Problems are the price you pay for progress. Be patient and tough. Someday, this pain will be useful to you. Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop. What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. Don't ever let the same people disappoint you twice. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. Your wound is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. The things that you consider to be yours own you far more than you own them. We feel guilty when we no longer want to associate with old friends who have not changed. But this is the price and marker of growth. Don't be afraid to do things by yourself. Waiting for other people will cause you to miss out on some wonderful things in life. Never give up on what you really want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the one with all the facts. If someone is trying to bring you down, they are already below you. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Your life becomes meaningful in precise proportion to the depths of the responsibility you are willing to shoulder. As you improve, you'll find yourself more disappointed with those around you. To avoid this, be hard on yourself but understanding of others. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Nothing prevents happiness like the memory of happiness. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. What a wonderful thought it is that some of the best days of our lives haven't happened yet. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or step back into safety. The trouble is, if you don't risk anything, you risk more. You can't turn back the clock, but you can wind it up again. One finds limits by pushing them. The past cannot be changed. The future is yet in your power. If you hate starting over, stop quitting. Whatever the mind can think and perceive, it can achieve. Not all storms come to disrupt your life, some come to clear your path. Adversity has the effect of eliciting talents which in prosperous circumstances would have lain dormant. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. All we are is the result of all we have thought. You can't live your life for other people. You've got to do what's right for you, even if it hurts some people you love. The time you kill does not die without avenging itself. Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these: "It might have been so." Sometimes, the place you are used to is not the place you belong. Letting go means to come to the realization that some people are a part of your history but not a part of your destiny. We aim above the mark to hit the mark. Sometimes, it's a blessing to not get what you want. Never expose your next step, just take the step. A fish with a closed mouth never gets caught. The world is round, and the place which may seem like the end may also be the beginning. You are always stronger and more resourceful than you give yourself credit for. Don't go broke trying to impress broke people. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. The only place where your dream becomes impossible is in your own thinking. The quickest way to succeed is to start now and figure it out as you go. You can't learn to drive in a parked car. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Be careful how you talk to yourself, because you are listening. Just because your path is different from others doesn't mean you're lost. Not everything in your brain needs to come out of your mouth. It is difficult to make the right choice if you fear choosing wrongly. Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. You can choose the game you play, but not its rules. We cannot live happily wishing the world followed the rules we are comfortable with. You grow up the day you have your first real laugh at yourself. We are all faced with a series of great opportunities brilliantly disguised as impossible situations. Sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. The future is always beginning now. If you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hopes. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. Stress is temporary, but the lessons you learn from it can last a lifetime. Go forth on your path as it exists only through your walking. The art of living lies less in eliminating our troubles than in growing with them. Life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life. Loneliness isn't the absence of people, it's the absence of connection. Seek meaningful interactions, not just company. Action is 10 times more valuable than reading and planning. Experience is the best teacher. You will never remember the days and nights you stay home and do nothing. Letting go is much easier than you think. Holding on is much tougher than you think. Obstacles aren't roadblocks, they're road signs. The energy we spend to complain can be redirected to act for change. When we take responsibility, we get out of the victim mode and move on. The most authentic thing about us is our capacity to create, overcome, endure, transform, love, and be greater than our suffering. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Just because you slipped on a step doesn't mean you should throw yourself down the staircase. The world doesn't always reward you for being a good person, but that is no reason not to be one. The mountain you're climbing wasn't put there to punish you, but to show you what you're capable of. Don't hold the younger you to the standards you hold yourself to today. You don't notice your progress in life because you were always raising the bar. Before you are old, attend as many funerals as you can bear and listen. Nobody talks about the departed's achievements. The only thing people will remember is what kind of person you were while you were achieving. Everyone is jealous of what you have. No one is jealous of how you got it. Just because something is hard to obtain doesn't mean that it's valuable. If you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success. A man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. Life isn't something you possess, it's something you take part in. Sometimes, the hardest things in life are the things that we need to hear the most. Your direction is more important than your speed. On the other side of a storm is the strength that comes from having navigated through it. Raise your sail and begin. Go as far as you can see. When you get there, you'll be able to see further. Although the world is full of suffering, it is full also of the overcoming of it. The future is when you'll be sorry for everything you could have done today but didn't. The world stands aside to let anyone pass who knows where he is going. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. It's not the load that keeps you down, it's how you carry it. Don't compare yourself to others, because no one can play your role better than you. We must embrace pain and burn it as fuel for our journey. The days are long, but the years are short. If you have to keep asking yourself if something is worth it, then maybe it's not. Step out of the history that is holding you back. Step into the new story you are willing to create. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. You have within you right now everything you need to deal with whatever the world can throw at you. Be careful about the stories you're telling yourself about your current circumstances. A head full of negative thoughts has no space for positive ones. If there was nothing wrong in the world, there wouldn't be anything for us to do. It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. There is hope, even when your brain tells you there isn't. Sometimes, just carrying on is a superhuman achievement. Your goals are the compass that guide you through the storm of life. We must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. Adversity is not a detour, it is part of the path. Never limit your view of life by any past experience. Life will test you just before it blesses you. Not being heard is no reason for silence. A toxic environment is more likely to change you than you change it. Remember, no effort that we make to attain something beautiful is ever lost. Forever is composed of nows. A mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. Sometimes, you have to lose all you have to find out who you truly are. Courage is found in unlikely places. Start where you are, Use what you have. Do what you can. One of the most important things you can accomplish is just being yourself. If you fuel your journey on the opinions of others, you are going to run out of gas. Change is scary because known challenges and pain are easier to accept than unknown ones. We are not a product of what has happened to us in our past. We have the power of choice. If you wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. Time is what we want most, but what we use the worst. Take the attitude of a student. Never be too big to ask questions and never know too much to learn something new. Old ways won't open new doors. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Reputation is what other people know about you. Honor is what you know about yourself. You can clutch the past so tightly to your chest that it leaves your arms too full to embrace the present. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. The human capacity for burden is like bamboo. Far more flexible than you'd ever believe at first glance. Where there is ruin, there is hope for a treasure. The size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. Growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. You are in charge of your own happiness. You don't need to wait for other people's permission to be happy. The past is just a story we tell ourselves. Your deepest, darkest moment may be the best thing that ever happens to you. Our greatest battles are those with our own minds. Experience is not what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens to you. Be smart enough to ask for advice, but be wise enough to know who to seek it from. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do but doesn't get you anywhere. You cannot change anyone, but you can be the reason someone changes. Let the improvement of yourself keep you so busy that you have no time to criticize others. Even if you are on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. Never let your sense of morals prevent you from doing what is right. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. Don't watch the clock, do what it does, keep going. A miracle isn't winning the lotto. It's believing in yourself when you didn't before. Our lives are defined by opportunities, even the ones we miss. We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. Solving a problem without solving its root cause is like taking a step forward and then one back. Look in the mirror, that's your competition. Any change, even a change for the better, is always accompanied by drawbacks and discomfort. It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting.